OnePlus was known for delivering high-end flagship smartphones at almost half the price that competitors were offering. Eventually, they stepped into the mid-range phone market with the OnePlus NORD. Here we are in 2021 where they released the NORD 2. But right before they did that, they announced the NORD CE 5G. So what's this phone all about? Let's find out. Hey guys, Shashank here. Welcome back to another video. Today, I'll be talking about my experience with the OnePlus NORD CE 5G variant after almost 2 months of usage. This video is ultimately going to help you decide whether this phone is for you or not, what are the pros, what are the cons, all the good stuff. But before that, I have made a complete review on the camera of this phone. There's going to be photo samples, video samples, all that stuff. That video is already uploaded on my channel, so be sure to check that out once you watch this video. And if it's your first time here, please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you like this kind of content. And if this video helped you out, a thumbs up is really appreciated. Now let's get on to the review. Starting off with the specifications, the OnePlus NORD CE runs on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 750G 5G chipset and has an octa-core processor. The GPU, on the other hand, is the Adreno 619. The screen is a beautiful 6.43 90Hz AMOLED display, and as you'd expect, it gets really bright and just looks beautiful. It's not like these other phones in this price range where the AMOLED screen heats up. On this phone, it's executed quite well and the experience is flawless. The phone does have a 4500 mAh battery and gives a stunning battery life. It's definitely not a 2-day phone, but it can definitely last a day and a half with considerate usage. Here's a screenshot of the battery performance. The best performance I did get was a screen on time of 6 hours and 38 minutes and still have 53% battery left. Can you believe that? That's 6.5 hours worth of usage where I browse through all my social media, a little bit of gaming, a lot of media consumption, and I run Nova Launcher and a bunch of widgets. It's not like I'm going easy on this phone, and it still managed to give such stunning battery life. It's definitely very rare these days to get this kind of battery life from a phone. I'd definitely say I'm going to give a 10 on 10 for the battery performance. No complaints whatsoever. If that's not good enough, the phone does charge very fast with the help of the 30-watt fast charging brick provided with the phone. You can easily expect at least 65 to 70% in 30 minutes. Let's talk about the camera for a little bit now, because I'm not going to go into detail. As I've already mentioned, I have a complete separate video on the channel right now talking about the camera performance of this phone, but here are the basics. So the main camera is a 64MP camera. The ultrawide camera is an 8MP camera with a 119-degree field of view. There's a 2MP mono lens included as well. The main camera shoots at 4K 30fps, and you can also shoot at 1080p up to 120fps. The selfie camera, on the other hand, is a 16MP Sony IMX471 sensor, which shoots video at 1080p 30fps or 60fps. In terms of storage and RAM, you can get 3 versions. There's a 128GB with 6GB of RAM. There's also a 128GB with 8GB of RAM. What's weird is there is a 256GB and 12GB RAM, which doesn't make any sense, especially with the specifications this phone is offering. So I'd say don't go for that variant. It makes no sense. I don't even know why it's there. It's weird. Oh, and also you cannot insert a memory card, so there's no expandable storage, but the phone is a dual SIM phone. Now, talking about the main issue everyone has with this phone, or should I say existing OnePlus users have with this phone, is that there's no alert slider. I honestly don't know what the big deal is. I've never had the need to use an alert slider before. Maybe if you get used to it, and now that's missing on this phone, it might be a disadvantage of some sort. But if you aren't a OnePlus user, I just don't think there's anything to worry about. You can always mute a call using the power button, or if you're really going into a meeting, just maybe scroll down, turn on silent mode. Do you really need a physical button for that? I'm not sure, but if you really need a slider, this phone doesn't have it, and maybe this phone isn't for you. It does not have stereo speakers as well, but it does come with a headphone jack. The speakers provided with this phone is really good. I have no complaints with it, but there are a lot of other phones which provide stereo speakers in this price range, so you're kind of missing out on that. It is a 5G phone but has only one band of 5G, while the international variants I've heard have around 17 bands of 5G. I'm not gonna complain too much because India does not have 5G support yet anyways. So I don't know, I still think you shouldn't advertise this phone as a 5G phone. But yeah, it's a feature if you're really looking forward to it. The phone does support NFC. So I have made a few payments via NFC using this phone and it works quite well. No complaints there as well. Next, talking about the build quality, I did go with the Blue Void variant and I absolutely love it. There is a black charcoal variant and a silver ray variant as well. But the reason I did not choose that is that it does not come with a matte finish back and it attracts a lot of fingerprints. Secondly, I just like this color. I was getting bored of the whole silver and black look on every phone, so I decided to change things up and choose this. I have no regrets doing that. It's a beautiful phone and it stands out. You know, it's a quite unique color and I love it. The phone weighs around 170 grams, which is extremely light, but it does not come with Gorilla Glass protection. I was really disappointed when I found out about this. I just naturally assumed that the phone has Gorilla Glass protection and bought it. But then as I was working on this video, I realized it does not have Gorilla Glass protection. When you're paying over 20k for any phone, I think it's a basic necessity at this point, both stereo speakers and Gorilla Glass protection. But unfortunately, this phone does not come with those two features. Sad. The back of the phone is made of plastic, but it's very smooth. It does not make the phone look or feel cheap in any way. But moving on to the happier notes, the main thing I love about this phone is its form factor. It feels incredible when you hold it in your hand. It's very light. The Xiaomi phones are big and wide and does not feel too good when you hold them, but this one is really satisfying. You'll notice it immediately when you hold on to it for the first time. Now that we talked about the design and the build quality in general, let's talk about my experience with this phone. Firstly, talking about the fingerprint scanner, it isn't as fast as your normal fingerprint scanner would be since it's on your screen. But that wasn't the issue. Sometimes it fails to recognize my fingerprint. After trying multiple angles, it still does not work. But once I press the power button and try again, it works fine. Maybe it's a bug of some sort and a future software update might fix it. Another annoying thing is that the fingerprint scanner is in the bottom, so for the first few days, it feels quite unnatural reaching for it because of the placement and the big screen. The UI is fabulous, really smooth. I did not experience any frame drops or lag. I went ahead and installed Nova Launcher as well, making it buttery smooth and just fun to use with that 90Hz refresh rate and AMOLED screen. Apps don't force close even when multiple processes are running in the background thanks to that 8GB RAM, making it very convenient to use. The battery life does not tend to get affected even if you don't close them, which is really good because I've seen a lot of people, they just use the app and then move on. They don't necessarily swipe up and close the app. But if you're one of those people, you don't have to worry about the battery life getting affected because it's very well optimized. I received 2 updates while I was using this phone. The first update I got was the OxygenOS 11.0.6.6. Currently it's running on OxygenOS 11.0.9.9, which is quite good. Within the first 2 months of usage, I already got 2 updates. So I did run benchmarks on this phone, so here are the results. It got a single core score of 642 and a multi-core score of 1853. In the single core comparison, there are a bunch of phones you can see on top of this phone, but those phones cost like over $1,000 or over 1 lakh Indian rupees. The one phone which does beat this phone is the Poco F3. I think it gets a benchmark score of around 800 or 900 and the phone costs around 26 to 27,000 rupees. I'm not quite sure. But again, that is a hardcore gaming phone. You shouldn't worry about these scores if you're not a hardcore gamer, but if you do spend a lot of your time playing games on your phone, I'd highly recommend you go for that phone instead of this one. It's a no-brainer. And also it got an OpenCL score of 1299. Now, how do these scores perform when it comes to gaming? You can easily get 60 FPS in most games, but BGMI and PUBG not so much. The phone does have a 90Hz display, but unfortunately cannot get 90 FPS on those games. You can get it in low settings, obviously, but on the higher side, that's not an option. Other games run really well, no noticeable frame drops. Maybe once or twice you might notice a bit of frame drop, but it's nothing to worry about. High-end games run at 60 FPS when you use medium settings or high settings. In ultra high settings, you get 30 to 40 FPS. I really enjoyed using this phone. It is very well optimized. The max temperature I got was 42 degrees after around 41 minutes of gaming. The games I did play in this period was CSR Racing 2, Call of Duty and PGMI. So I wouldn't call it a gamer's phone by any means. If you want to push it to the limit, you can obviously choose the Poco phone as I mentioned below. But if you do choose the Poco phone, then you can't expect a clean UI because it does come with MIUI pre-installed. And with MIUI, there's a lot of bloatware. And I've heard the camera as well is not quite satisfactory. But again, if your main focus is gaming, then that's your phone. The OnePlus NORD CE is not. A lot of people don't talk about the cellular reception of the phone in their reviews, but that's not the case here. I'm going to talk about it a little bit because I was really impressed, and here's why. When I went to get my vaccine, there was a huge waiting line and all of my friends had Xiaomi phones while I was the only one with a OnePlus phone. All of us use Jio, so it's not like there's going to be a bit of difference there. They struggled to get hardly 1 or 2 Mbps speed, while my phone easily got 9 to 10 Mbps speed with the same signal. I have no idea how that happened, but it was quite interesting because I was the only one with internet access, and getting 1 to 2 Mbps for watching any video is just not sufficient. But in that scenario, what I noticed was the temperature shot up to 42 degrees and I lost around 12% of battery within 20 minutes. I was watching Netflix at the time and I was able to finish one entire episode, but it resulted in these consequences. So it's up to you to decide whether it's a win-win situation or a win-lose situation. Anyways, hope this video helped you out. If it did, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel for more content like this. If you guys have any doubts regarding today's video, hit me up in the comments below and I'll be sure to help you guys out. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.